Hey everyone, this is Eric Hadley with Black Hat Algorithms. Today I'm going to show you how to code a file binder in Visual Basic. A file binder is an application basically used to bind files. Right here, as you can see, I have two separate files. Now, it's mostly used to bind a malicious file. We'll say that this is our malicious file right here. And an innocent file. This is just a photograph or something right here. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to create a program that takes these two files right here and puts them into one. So the end result is going to be this. This is going to pop up, and this is going to pop up in one executable. You might be thinking to yourself, well, what's the point in that? Well, you see, this is malicious software right here, and most of the time it's going to be hidden. So if you just give somebody a file that's malicious software and they open it and nothing happens, they're going to be suspicious, of course. So that's why you always bind it with something that's innocent, like a picture of a hot chick or something of that matter, or MP3, any file that's just not suspicious at all. So anyways, let's get started with the code. Go ahead and open up VidBasic. New project. Black Hat Algorithms. This is a very simple way to make a binder. There are many other methods, and I might choose to do other tutorials on those other methods of making binders, but there's other material to cover, so I'll get to that later. Just gonna go ahead and start off with two text boxes. These text boxes are pretty much gonna hold the path of the files that we want to bind. I'm gonna tighten this up. That's what he said. Okay. So now I'm going to go into the code, delete this. So we're going to start off by making two global string variables. Call it F1 for file 1, F2 for file 2. Okay. Now we're going to make an event. This is the text box click event, so this is what's going to happen when the user clicks the first text box. We're going to have to start off with an open file dialog, so let's go ahead and do that. What this line of code does is pretty much sets a property of the open file dialog control to make it to make the initial directory at the desktop. So if you take this code and run it on any computer, it'll pull up the desktop. Because if you don't do this, then if you just write out the code, like the specific directory, it won't work on some computers because their drivers, their drive names are different, etc. Stuff like that. So you always want to make sure you use this. Okay. Now, and there are other properties that you can add to a open file dialog control, like title, but I'm not going to go into that. Because that's not really a part of this tutorial. Anyhow, now that we have that set, we're going to type this next line. this line is to see if the user clicked OK. So if the user clicks OK, then it's going to execute this block of code. If the user hits cancel, it's not going to do this block of code. Now you can put in an else statement by yourself if you'd like, but I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. So what we're going to do now is take the text box 1.text and set that value equal to the file name. Now this file name right here is going to return whatever the path of the file that the user has chosen. Okay? And we're going to take our global string variable and we're going to set this equal to the safe file name. Now this is just a file name without the path. And that's pretty much all we're doing there. Now we're going to go here and make another event for the second text box. We're pretty much doing the same exact thing in this one. I'm going to go ahead and control copy this code, change a few variables, change that to 2, change that to 2, go down here, take that. Now we're going to code the button. We're going to prompt the user to with a save file dialog, which is pretty much the same as an open file dialog, except it's used to save files. You'll probably want to put in an if statement, making sure that the text boxes actually have string values in them. But I'm not going to waste my time with that. Just you might want to build this and then go back and tweak it a bit so it's a bit better. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a save file dialog object. And do the same old thing, just set up the properties. Okay, now we're getting into the important part of the builder, at least of the binder. Okay, so we need a splitter variable. This is pretty much going to be our delimiter inside the stub, because we're going to use the split method in order to split up our data. And I will explain this after I code it, so it's a bit more easier for you to understand. So we're going to make a string variable. I'm going to call it SB for splitter. Keep this as simple as possible for you. Splitter. So that's our delimiter. Okay.